A ghost lives here.
A ghost definitely lives here. Welcome back to A Ghost Lives Here.
This is Beth.
This is Brenna.
We are your hosts,
And we are here for episode 2.
We've done one already.
Episodes. Yeah.
We've already succeeded one time in our life.
We recorded things, we put it together, and we put it on the internet for your viewing pleasure.
Or it better have been worth it.
Yeah, it better have been pleasing.
So we're gonna try again.
Yeah. We're back. And we are ready to tell you some scary tales of our own lives.
And talk about Stranger Things. As you can see, we're dressed appropriately as part 2 of season 4 comes out today, which is amazing. Yeah, I'm channeling my inner 11.
And I'm channeling my inner Max, 11's best girlfriend.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we're going to be doing some eerie etymology.
And we'll be talking about Pax Tavern.
Oh, man, yeah.
It's the most amazing restaurant, and we are so excited to tell you all about it
I
and
don't-
show you the copious amounts of footage we took while we were inside of it.
Yeah, I don't know why we love it so deeply, but
The best experience, multiple times. On our road trip where we stayed there for one night, wasn't it? Or was it 2 nights there?
one night, I think.
It was one
Yeah.
night in Asheville, and we went to this restaurant twice.
Oh wait, no, we did go.
Did
We were
we
there
do
for
2
2
nights?
days because we went twice. We went to the restaurant both nights because we had to. But you'll hear all about that.
Yeah, oh, we're very excited.
We're
That's
getting our head of ourselves because we just love it so
we got
deeply.
too excited. It's fine. That section is coming up soon, so stick around with us.
So you'll hear all of that again.
Yes, it's fine. We have so many things to tell you.
Yeah. So stay tuned. This will be great.
Yeah.
Part 2.
Part 2.
We're so excited.
Feeling funky, fine, fresh.
Yeah.
So get yourselves ready.
Yeah. Do it. All right. Now we're going to be talking about some of our childhood favorite spooky stories. So I will go ahead and get started. I have a big stack here. This is probably less than 5% of my spooky story collection from childhood. These are just some of my favorites. So I wanted to start with ones that are pretty familiar to people, which are the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark by Alvin Schwartz and illustrated by Stephen Gamel. So I had the whole collection here, and what scared me most about these were the illustrations, but I was so fascinated by them. I love these books to death. Then also by Alvin Schwartz, In a Dark, Dark Room and Other Scary Stories, illustrated by Dirk Zimmer. And there are some kind of common stories in this, like, you know the story of the girl with the ribbon around her neck, and that's a pretty well-known tale as far, well, in my life it is. I think that is pretty common.
I think it might be a folktale from Japan, but I'm not positive. I'll have to look that up later.
Yeah, so it's just called, in this version it's called The Green Ribbon. So just a collection of scary stories, also really great. This one I actually just found in my parents' bookcase. I had forgotten all about it, but I loved this book so much. In the Haunted House by Eve Bunting and illustrated by Susan Maddow. And the illustrations, you never see the kids, you just see them running away from all the monsters. So you just see their feet leaving the rooms on all the illustrations, and I love that so much.
I love him.
Yeah, look at that dancing
Look
skeleton.
how cute he is. He says hello.
They're buddies.
Normie, was that you in another life?
Yeah, this is just, fantastic illustrations. That was maybe the best part about this book. Another great recommendation, and then finally, best for last, The Flat Man. This was my favorite book as a kid. It's written by Rose Impey and illustrated by Moira Kemp. Nobody knows about this book. It's basically about this flat man. Ooh, it's very well loved and old. He slinks through this boy's bedroom and basically tries to, I don't know, kill him? Or I don't really know what his purpose is.
He tries to, I don't know, kill him maybe?
But he's just really terrifying. But I loved it. I just loved the idea of this kind of creepy man slinking through the house and being scary. So another great recommendation for kids.
I am 0% surprised that she turned out the way she did.
This is me. Yeah, I just wanted to share some potential books if you do have some young people in your lives, or just for yourself, or if like you're a teacher and you want to recommend scary stories to kids or read around Halloween time. These were some of my favorites. I'm sure there are a lot of new ones not published in, when I was a kid, but some really great options there.
And those illustrations, especially for the scary stories to tell in the dark, are really iconic.
Yeah, and in fact, let me just quickly, if you haven't seen them, they're these sort of ink, like
absolutely beautiful
ink pieces,
almost dreamlike.
Yeah, and they're all like they're spidery, like they look kind of like spider webs /
they're so pretty.
Roots and grass and mud and beautiful.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So, how about you?
So, well, Brenna has a list of recommendations, and I have a one-story list of things to avoid telling your children.
From personal experience.
From personal experience, because I was scarred by this story. Now, to be fair, the wound healed over, and I now have a deep and unabiding love for all things folklore, especially Appalachian folklore. However, this story it terrified me. It is the story of Tayle Poe. And if you are from a wooded area in the general Appalachian regions, you will know this story probably. But it's a horrifying tale about a man in the woods and a little creature that has a long tail, which doesn't sound that bad, but I promise it is. Don't look into it.
I just remember even talking about the story when we were little,
it would make me cry.
You would get so upset.
I would get very, very angry, and then I would go home and cry. It was because, okay, so for context, this story was told once a year in our classrooms growing up, and I got so afraid of it that my parents had to call the school to ask them to please stop telling it. And
then they didn't listen.
They didn't listen, and then I would raise my hand and be like, "Can I please leave?" And they would say no. And I would say, "Okay." But it also doesn't help. So this story is very widespread. It's a very common folktale. Unfortunately, our teachers had a very fun little tradition about changing it to be about our town. So they would start the story and go, "So, a man in a log cabin, not too far from here, just past the local Walmart." And I would go, "I live past the local Walmart. What do you mean?"
And of course, it's like the one thing that we have here in our small town was the Walmart. Like, that was the landmark. That was where Tayle Poe was.
Yeah, so, anything in town is just past the Walmart, y'all. This wasn't a high bar.
So Tayle Poe is everywhere.
Tayle Poe is everywhere. No, and one of our friends would do that little voice for him.
Can I do it? Are you gonna?
Feel free.
If you're okay.
It's fine.
It was like, Tayle Poe.
And they would scratch on the doors.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't Brenna. It wasn't Brenna. Oh, yeah.
I knew better. I knew better than to do the Tayle Poe voice.
Yeah, no, my poor parents had to deal with many sleepless nights where I would run down the hallway to their room and be like, "Please, Tayle Poe's gonna get me. I heard something on the roof."
Oh man, this is just who we are as people.
It is. However, I didn't have a lot of other spooky literature when I was a kid. My family was actually kind of anti-spooky. So my other books on the list were things like Stella Luna, that little book about the bats, and Where the Wild Things Are, and some of the other classics like that. But
I love Where the Wild Things Are too.
Yeah, it's so good. But we were given the prompt of spooky things, and I didn't have an awful lot, because it used to be that if I wanted to experience something spooky, I would go over to Brenda's house and simply not mention to her parents that I wasn't allowed to watch spooky movies.
But my parents were pretty pro-trauma.
Yeah.
Like, when I was, yay big, I was I watched The Exorcist and I watched Poltergeist, unbeknownst to my mother, who didn't want me watching those things, but my dad would let me watch them.
Yeah.
I remember this one time I wouldn't eat my potato soup, and my mom was like, "Why isn't she eating her soup?" It was because of this vomit scene in The Exorcist.
And we love potatoes.
I know. That's how but it was like, only that was the traumatizing part. The fact that my potato soup was ruined forever.
Now, to give a little bit of context to this, Brenna's dad is something of a cryptid in my memories. Brenna's house was some of my fondest, most wonderful childhood memories. However, it was also the home of a lot of terror. We would watch the scary movies, but also her dad had his little workshop in the basement. And so you would go down into this little drippy basement, and there were figures hanging from the ceiling.
Just lots of things just hanging.
Limbs and saws and tools and just
creepy puppets.
If you think of a basement from a horror movie like It or something like that, it's worse.
Welcome to my life.
It's worse. So, and then Brenna's parents would take us to the graveyard quite often, and we would play there.
Oh yeah, and all my birthday parties were Halloween themed.
Yeah, well, an October baby.
Yeah, Halloween baby, almost. So my life was just heavily influenced by all things scary stories.
Yes, and so, actually, I'm starting to think maybe I can blame who I am on Brenna.
You're welcome!
And her parents.
Yeah. So that was just some recommendations and anti-recommendations for your spooky story needs.
And some nice little childhood memories for y'all. We'll have more of those coming soon. One of them includes a didgeridoo. So.
Yeah, look forward to that one.
Hello and welcome to the portion of our show where we tell you about our favorite places we've been, bookshops, restaurants, that sort of thing.
Yeah. And this time it's a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Last time
we talked to Lee from Neighborhood Comics in Savannah, Georgia.
And that was in episode 1, so if you haven't seen it yet,
check it out.
Watch that. But this one, we're talking about a place in Asheville, North Carolina.
And that place is Pax Tavern.
We also were there on the road trip on which we went to Neighborhood Comics, which was in April
of 2021. And that was Brenna's book tour, actually, for her second graphic novel that had just come out called Delicates. And if you haven't read it, check it out.
Oh, thanks. And then Beth was along, helping me drive down and going to bookstores with me and
doing
stuff.
photography, being a little annoying. It was great.
No, being just a charming delight.
We had the best time.
But, of course, we had to eat. And when we were in Asheville, so we were there for 2 days, and we went to Pax Tavern the first day on pretty much by accident.
It was a whim.
Yeah, I don't do whim very well.
Brenna is a list maker and an organizer and a planner.
Yeah,
I am not.
That's why we really balance each other out, because it's I have lists made for road trips, but then I kind of embrace Beth's chaos. And I'm like, let's take a little bit of that, sprinkle it into my list, and spice it up a bit.
I am a ball of chaos, and Brenna just directs my energy to make sure it's productive and not destructive.
Yeah, I make it into a channel over here. I'm like, all right, here's a little chaos over there, over there.
Oh, Beth, go do your thing over there.
But I was Googling other restaurants in Asheville, and I found this photo of a skeleton riding a bike upside down, hanging from the ceiling. I'm like, Beth, we're going here. And it was called Pax Tavern. We drove over, and it ends up being on Marjorie Street, or else really close to that. And Marjorie is the main character in my graphic novels, and it was fate.
It was fate. We walked in and it was immediately perfect.
Yeah.
It was, the skeleton, the bar, it was so good.
The booths, the lighting.
And our waiter was such an angry man. He, not a rage angry, but a dejected angry.
Yeah, just a little anti his job that day or something.
I think he was just having a down day.
Yeah, one of those days.
When we walked in, he was very pleasant. He just wasn't super excited.
And we're just so used to being excited all the time.
We are constantly excited. We really love life and existing specifically together.
And it's so weird when we meet people who don't.
But by the end of the conversation, we had discovered he had been up north and driven through where we live, and he had family in the general area, and he became our best friend.
Yeah, I think by the end of day 1, he was like, I tolerate these people.
Well, yes, because as we left, he goes, bye, ladies, and we were like, that is the nicest thing you've ever said to us. Thank you.
Yeah. And so, after that kind, conversation we had with him, and after loving the food to death,
it was perfect.
We were only in Asheville for 2 days, and we decided to go back again the next day. Which we don't do.
We, as a rule, and it's never been a hard and fast rule because I don't do hard and fast rules, and Brenna likes to allow for a little bit of wiggle. A little dance. That's good. So we, as a rule though, we don't go back to the same places multiple times when we're road tripping. We even try to kind of stay away from similar genres.
Yeah,
of
like
food.
similar cuisine.
Yeah, so it's very strange that we decided to go back, but we were so enamored with the food. I mean, the waiter, even when he was angry, he was still so nice.
Yeah.
And
we like angry people.
We actually really do enjoy angry people, so...
They're complex.
We enjoy most people, as long as you have, like, a base level of kindness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're morally kind and...
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're human...
If you're human, we probably like you. But he was... It was perfect, so we decided to go back a second time.
Yeah, and then, on our most recent road trip down south, Beth was at a con down in South Carolina.
And Brenna so kindly went with me to be my booth buddy. And she even drew some little ghosts on my bags. It was so good.
It was so fun. We decided to go at least an hour out of our way to stop again at Pax Tavern in Asheville.
Yeah, we had no reason to be in Asheville, and it definitely was a significantly longer way home if we went through Asheville, and we made that decision.
Yeah.
We made that decision without hesitation.
So, I know it's really far. Well, I mean, you hopefully are all over the world listening to this. So maybe you're really close to Asheville, or maybe you're in a different country.
Farther than us.
Yeah. But if you ever end up going to Asheville, we highly recommend Pax Tavern. I guess maybe we recommend what we ate there. I had the meatloaf and mashed potatoes one time, and best mashed potatoes I've ever had. And I have eaten a lot of mashed potatoes in my life.
Brenda's a potato fiend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm not, that's not an exaggeration.
That is a very serious description.
Yes. Truly a fiend.
What did I have the second time? I had their turkey burger, I think, and then the tater tots. Or black bean burger. Burger. I had black bean burger.
What'd you have the third time?
What did I have the third
to the
time?
meatloaf?
Yeah, because the first time they had it with asparagus, and this time it was with Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, very delicious.
Well, I am a little bit of a creature of habit when it comes to food. I get a hankering for a certain thing, and I just do that. So I had their fried chicken sandwich. Absolutely divine. Truly a holy experience. It is something, if you get the chance to eat that chicken sandwich, I would argue it's the best chicken sandwich I've ever had. You had some of my fries, too. Perfect fries.
Oh, they were really good.
Yeah.
It was the closest thing to a holy experience you've ever had.
537.2 out of 7.
That's an accurate ranking, yeah.
It's a very, very intense scale. And one day we'll explain it to you. But
we do have a very interesting way of ranking our foods, and we make sure on our trips to rank every single thing that we ate/saw.
Oh, yes. Everything we put in our mouths got ranked. It was food. Oh, it was amazing. But Pax was the best rated thing of our trip, I think.
Yeah,
and that includes ice cream.
Yeah.
And we went to an ice cream place in Savannah that was awesome.
Amazing. But Pax definitely, I think,
Pax was just perfect.
Yeah. So if you're ever in Asheville, or know someone who's traveling to Asheville, we recommend Pax Tavern.
Check it out. Yeah. And, try everything on the menu and then report back to us with your rankings, please. And actually, if you've ever been to Pax Tavern, in the comments. I would love for you to tell me more things to eat there, because on our next road trip, we will be going back. I don't care where we go on the road trip. We're going back.
If we road trip to California, we'll still go to Asheville.
It'll just be a slightly bigger loop. It's fine.
Totally worth it.
Yeah. But Pax Tavern, 10 stars. We loved it.
This right here is the section where we're going to be talking a little bit about Stranger Things without spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers for season 4. So, except maybe one name.
Yeah. But you can handle a name, I think.
You can handle a name.
It's all over the internet anyway. So.
Oh, yes.
So, maybe we can just talk a little bit about our favorite characters from the show, because I have much love for Hopper and also Steve Harrington and Dustin are my 3 favorite characters. Hopper is my dream man. If I knew him in person, I probably wouldn't feel that way, but as a character, he's just so well-rounded. He's a really tragic but powerful backstory. He can be so, like, dry and witty and harsh and bold, but then turn around and be so endearing to Eleven and the kids and Joyce. And he's just so wonderful and such an incredible character. And I love David Harbour, and that's the end.
Oh, David Harbour is perfect. That's the end. I love David Harbour. Story done. Whole section complete.
Yeah. I have no more words to say other than just pure adoration.
David Harbour is a delight.
Yeah, I actually saw him speak in person at some school in Erie.
Oh, really?
I don't know the name of the school, but he was there speaking, like doing a question and answer and just talking about his early career / early life, and he's exactly as you'd imagine. Like, he's not too far off from Hopper himself, and I just think, like, the people who are part of this show just seem like really fantastic people, and Dusty's so funny and adorable, and Steve Harrington is just the perfect male heartthrob.
I knew that I would love Steve Harrington the moment he picked up that baseball bat and swung it in the little circle.
Once someone swings a bat in a circle,
look,
that's head over heels.
There's a reason that the baseball scene in Twilight, absolutely iconic.
Supermassive black hole.
Say what you will about those movies, that scene will forever live in my heart. Yeah. Steve Harrington with a bat, just perfect. Perfect, 10 out of 10.
And this isn't giving anything away, but you'll see that in season 4, he still does. There still are bat scenes, so look forward to the bat scenes.
I'm so excited. You don't understand that. I'm gonna have to watch it tonight.
There's also shirtless Steve in season 4.
Less into that.
Oh.
Actually, see, I would argue that bats hotter than shirtlessness.
Combination of the two would be ideal.
Combination would be ideal. We should write them.
Hey, Duffer Brothers, we have a suggestion for you.
I know filming is done. I know the show's pretty much done, but you have to put this in, man. You don't understand. We need it.
And I think that your favorite characters are pretty similar.
Mine are pretty similar. I'm actually gonna switch my answers from what I was thinking earlier, because Steve is my favorite of the older kids, and Dustin is my favorite of the children, but I've decided instead of picking a second older kid to be my favorite, I'm going to talk about Joyce. Because...
Yes, how did we forget Joyce?
I love Joyce, and that way we have an adult, a teen, and a kid.
Yeah.
You know? But Joyce is just a all-around delight, such a warm and loving mother, and also, for me, a part of season 1 and the true horror behind it was the fact that no one took her seriously. She was written off as a hysterical woman, and every person who has seen something strange or, like, experienced something like that where your kid goes missing, when people don't listen to you, there is an innate horror to that.
I think that's the thing that scares me a lot in most shows, is the isolation. Like, that is the scariest thing you can add to any sort of semi-horror / sci-fi / whatever show. Is just the idea of being alone and no one trusting you or being on your side.
And that's part of why Stranger Things never got into true horror for me before. I hear season 4 is pretty scary.
I thought it was going to be more scary than it was, in my opinion. But then again, I read The Flat Man as a 7-year-old, so...
But for me, season 1 stopped being quite... It was still scary, but it never got to that true horror because Joyce found people who believed her. It was Hopper that saved the show from being, like, truly despair and horrifying. Because, I mean, if your kid went missing and no one believed you, that's a literal nightmare.
And Hopper's just a really great person to have on your side, a necessary person. So, yeah, I fully agree. I think Joyce is incredible. Winona Ryder's incredible.
Oh, Winona Ryder is just perfection.
Yeah.
It's just like the goals.
And the relationship of David Harbour and his love for Winona Ryder in real life is so
fantastic.
Precious. So I mean, we're just such fans of the show.
We really are. We went to Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando.
Yeah, purely for the Stranger Things house.
Yeah. Well, we say that, but we ended up doing every single house multiple times. We stayed out. So we would go to the park all day and then do Halloween Horror Nights all night. And the very first night, we had been in the park. We hadn't really gone home. We went, so we were there all day.
Starting at like 6 a.m.
6 a.m. because we got there before the line started, so we could ride things.
Because we wanted to go on the new Hagrid ride, and we knew it would be a long line. We're like, let's just get there way before it opens.
We got there early enough to ride it like 2 times that first day.
Yeah.
And a whole bunch of other rides. But we stayed out until like 3 a.m. when it closed. But about 1:45, Brenda and I were sitting on a bench and we were just going, we feel so bad. Like, why do we feel horrible? And we like head in our hands just hunched over on this bench.
Groaning.
And then we had the realization that the only thing we had done all day to nourish ourselves was eat a turkey leg. There was no water involved, no liquids. And
we were severely dehydrated.
Were just so dehydrated. So we hydrated, and then we ended up writing some other stuff, and it was great.
Yeah.
And then we made ourselves incredibly ill by the end of the trip because
I was unable to speak, and I never lose my voice. It got so bad, but it was totally worth it.
This was in like 2018.
This was 2018.
2018. Yeah, it was a while back, but yeah, no, the getting sick thing was probably my fault because I love talking to children. So I would make friends with all the children in the lines for the rides and all of the horror houses, and I was like, oh, is this going to be scary, guys? And they were like, yes. And I was like, oh,
yes. Here are my diseases.
I don't think they intentionally coughed on us, Brenna.
But our love for Stranger Things has lasted ever since season 1.
It runs deep.
And
we fell in love with Max and Eleven as a duo when we saw them eating ice cream on a bus in that one little scene.
Yeah, so we took pictures of ourselves as Eleven and Max in Halloween Horror Nights eating ice cream by a bus.
So, you know, little obsessive. It's great.
So we just wanted to share some of our love of Stranger Things and hope that if you watch Stranger Things, you're enjoying part 2 of season 4 today.
Here's hoping part 2 is great, and here's hoping I get caught up before it comes out. Yeah.
Enjoy. So the word I have brought today is bone orchard.
Ooh.
And so there were a bunch of Wild West words for cemetery. The most common is Boot Hill, which was named after those who died with their boots on.
Why did they die with their boots on?
Because they had to kick the can.
Yep.
Sorry.
Good enough.
So other words are boot yard, bone yard, and grave patch. So I found this article on NPR. And it was about the most famous boot hill, called Boot Hill, in Tombstone, Arizona.
Oh, we need to go there.
Yeah. Of all the places, just like Boot Hill, Tombstone, plus Arizona.
I've seen some specials about it. It's pretty haunted, right?
I would assume so. I mean, it all sounds really creepy. So basically, it's all gravel. And also mesquite trees and cacti. And the graves are covered with stones because they don't want any varmints or animals digging up the bones.
Varmints. Ooh, we're getting really into the Wild West theme here.
Yes. And I just love the idea that they have to keep things from, like, uprooting the dead people.
That's delightful.
By covering it with rocks. It is delightful.
It's amazing.
I'm delighted.
Delighted
I'm
too.
glad you are too. And so Boot Hill in Tombstone, Arizona was filled entirely between 1878 and 1884, which means it only took 6 years to fully fill it with the dead.
It only took 6 years.
Yeah. I don't know how big it is. I didn't find out that information, but it seems like that's a lot to fill probably in 6 years. This is the best part though. So, I mean, we're talking about death here, but as good as death can be. So, because no one had means of identification back then, here's how the town would identify a dead person. The mortician would put the body on a cooling board, and then he would open his office. It would be outside of his office, so he would like let people walk by for 2 days. The town would just line up, walk by the body, and if anyone could identify the body, they would be like, hey, I know that person, and then they would bury them with the marker. But within 2 days, if no one identified the body, it would just go in an unmarked grave. So they just had a dead body lying there on a cold slab for anyone to come and see.
We went to Marble Slab Creamery recently. kind of like that.
kind of like a slab in an ice cream shop.
Maybe a little less chopping. I'm sorry. You said cold slab. I just started thinking ice
Cold Stone. Just like Cold Stone.
Just like Cold Stone. Tombstone, Cold Stone.
It's probably where they got it. We can do a deep dive on that later. Okay, here are some samples of the grave markings that I found, and I'm really sorry if I laugh. I shouldn't be laughing, but...
Oh, I love grave markings.
Okay, first one is Marshall Fred White, 1880, shot by Curly Bill.
Curly Bill. Oh, that guy'll get you.
Number 2, here lies George Johnson hanged by mistake in 1882. He was right, we was wrong, but we strung him up, and now he's gone. They're writing, like, songs, and they're trying to be positive.
Does it make it better that they hung him by accident? No. But also, maybe yes.
I mean,
I like the poem.
Yeah,
the poem.
it's-
I would feel better.
yeah, they put a lot of thought in. Well, I mean, it's no masterpiece.
If
but
I were a ghost, I would be like, perhaps I won't haunt you all as much.
they feel bad. We was wrong.
We was wrong.
We was wrong.
We was wrong.
They know it. And number 3 is here lies Lester Moore. 4 slugs from a 44, no less, no more. Even they were punning back then.
Oh, this is delightful. We need to go to Tombstone.
I know.
That needs to be on our list.
I am so enraptured by this place. So some notorious inhabitants of the cemetery are Billy Clanton and Tom and Frank McClary?
McClary?
It's A-U. So McClary? I don't know any of these people, but apparently they're notorious. So maybe you know them, I don't know.
Yeah.
And, okay, so 146,000 people visited in 2011. It's a lot. Visiting a cemetery.
Yeah.
It's notable. Admission is free, but the souvenir shop sells fudge. Which I really enjoy. And then Johnny Cash wrote a song about it called The Ballad of Boot Hill. So, very cool place. And very cool backstory to the idea of bone orchard.
Man, that term is Amazing.
Yeah,
Bone orchard.
I love it. I love all these terms, for the different terms for cemetery that they use in the Wild West. I'm just really into the Wild West. Yeah.
As you should be. It's a good time.
Yeah. That was my eerie etymology for the day.
Beautiful.
I hope you enjoyed that.
I did.
Yay.
Alright.
This is the part where we fill out Buzzfeed quizzes together and determine our friendship compatibility slash, like, well, if our ghosts are compatible.
Yes, yes. This one is, if you died today, would you make a good ghost tomorrow? And it is by Joanna Borns, who's a Buzzfeed contributor. So,
Let's get started.
And we got a fun recommendation from a friend, so we're going to be putting the quiz questions up on the screen so y'all can actually follow along, and we'll link to the quiz in our description.
Yeah. In the show notes, as they say.
Show notes, yes, because we
are professional.
so good at this.
Alright, so number 1, do you think it's funny when someone gets startled?
Yes, if it's not me. Do you think you would look good if you were somewhat translucent? Absolutely yes on my end. I'm very pale.
I think it would be cool because it's like if you're standing in front of something, it's like
you get some texture.
Yeah, you can become like slightly more blue.
Imagine like if we laid down on this carpet and you could see all the little patterns.
Yeah, I could have patterns on
that
me.
Would be pretty.
I could have trees within me. I could be all sorts of things. Whatever I wanted.
You could be.
I could be anything I wanted to be.
You could have a little bit of orange glow going through you.
Yeah,
that would be good.
I'm saying yes.
Yeah.
Do you think you would be good at standing at the foot of someone's bed while they sleep and just staring at them?
Oh, absolutely yes. I'd be so talented at that.
I mean, it wouldn't require much effort, I don't think. Except unless I was like, you know.
I think you have a good face for it, too. Like, if you stood there and just kind of like look a little slack-jawed at them while they were sleeping.
Or even just smiled creepily. It depends on how, like, when am I doing this? Because if it starts when they just go to bed, I have to stand there all night long. I mean, that's a long time to be standing.
I feel like there are better things you can be doing with your haunting time, but I do think you'd be good at the standing there portion.
Yeah, I think I would check when their alarm is set first, and be like, I'll start the staring, like, 15 minutes before they get up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll say yes.
If someone was looking in a mirror, would you feel comfortable coming up behind them? I don't see why not. But also, if I were a ghost, I would come up in front of them in the mirror and I would say, hello, I'm your reflection. Look at me.
Ooh, that's even better.
Wouldn't it be good? Like, what if you could haunt their reflection and make it wiggle around a little bit? Just slightly, so it wasn't matching what they were doing? Yeah. I think that would stay with them all day.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say yes.
I would come up behind them. I mean, I've done it before. Why not in the afterlife? Do you like moving other people's stuff? No.
That's a no from me.
No, because I hate it when people move my stuff.
I am deeply uncomfortable with the idea of, like, moving other people's property.
Yeah. Because even if things look out of place, I know they're supposed to be there.
Yeah.
I put them in their place.
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't touch other people's things.
I would feel like a robber.
Maybe Alright, do you think you could make a scary moaning sound without letting it get too sexy?
Yes.
Absolutely yes.
Nothing I do is sexy.
I don't think... I also don't think out of context moaning sounds are ever sexy. Thoughts?
Terrible.
Awful.
Not sexy at all. Do you like waking people up at 3 a.m.?
Absolutely yes.
Yes, we've done it multiple times.
Yeah. We love a good night dance.
Excellent ghost.
Excellent ghost!
We're both excellent.
We answered the exact same thing.
Why are we so surprised? Alright, so it says, you would make such a good ghost. You would be one of the best ghosts ever.
Oh, we're definitely ghost material and we're amazing. So, you know.
This has lifted my spirits.
Get on our level.
You wish you were as good a ghost as we are. We're gonna be so good dead.
That's not a request.
Yeah, this is really great. So we are compatible in both life and death.
Yes.
Great. We're excellent ghosts, excellent friends. Love to hear it. Take the quiz. Let us know what kind of ghost you are. If you'd be a good ghost.
Hopefully some of you are even better than we are at this whole ghost thing.
Just to let you know, one of the answers, which I guess we'll put there, is like, I don't know for every single one of them. So if you click I don't know for every single one of them, would you make a good ghost if you didn't know anything?
Probably. I mean, you'd probably be one of those ghosts that, oh, I don't know I'm dead. I'm just wandering around living my life. These are my car keys.
Yeah, so I'm going to take them because I'm still alive.
Yeah, I'm going to go into the car, and then you try to leave the house and the keys drop from your hand, and you go, why did I drop those? Why do I always drop things when I walk through this door?
And then suddenly you don't even open the door, you're just on the other side.
And then all of a sudden you're waking up again.
Yeah, and everybody hates you.
Especially us. Don't touch our stuff.
Yeah. Well, that was fun.
Big quiz.
So now we thought we would maybe kind of end this episode 2 with some work updates, since we're both artists and we don't only look cute on camera, we also make things. So I currently, actually just yesterday, I started writing a new story for a graphic novel that probably won't be out for another few years because that's how the publishing world works. I also am coloring the current graphic novel that I'm working on, the release date to be announced. You can learn more on Instagram. And then I also did an illustration for Ariel Bissett, who is a book reviewer, and she's the co-host of Books Unbound, which is my favorite podcast. She started a new line of bookish merch called I'm Thinking About Books. So I did this Swamp Library illustration for the back of one of her t-shirts and also for art prints. So those are now available for pre-order and they'll be shipped in August. So if you're interested in some cool bookish merch or just checking it out, the link is in my bio on Instagram. I can probably link it here in the show notes too. And you can also view Ariel Bissett's creator shop on DFTBA, right there. Yeah, so that's what I have been up to.
And highly recommend those shirts. Don't have it yet, but I pre-ordered mine, and if you guys get one, we can all match. So
speaking of matching.
These were made by our very own Brenna Thumler. You'll notice they're the Hawkins Middle School AV Club.
Yeah,
she made them for us way back when Stranger Things first came out, didn't you?
I think it was season 2 with the AV Club. So, I just sewed on some little material to some more material.
Yeah. And it's one of my most cherished sweatshirts. I love it very much. But we match, and we wear them when we do Stranger Things stuff together, so we thought we'd toss them on for our
be a little cozy
portion of today.
Yeah, ending the day in a cozy way.
Warm stuff. It's great.
So, work updates from you?
Oh, so right now in my studio, I have a sculpture named Mr. Tickles, and he is worse than he sounds. So, he has a tiny hat, which is an abomination. It's little and it's horrifying. That's not the most horrifying thing about him, but it's fine. He just has a very menacing aura, and I'm pretty sure he's haunted, and he has made my garage a very hostile place for me to work.
Isn't it cool, though, when you have the ability to create haunted things?
Yes. It's like you've created life, but immediately took it away.
The power.
Never got a chance to live, Mr. Tickles. You're stuck like that. No wonder he hates me.
Yeah, you're creating your own villains.
Yeah. Oh, that's horrifying. But he's the worst. He is currently in the kiln, and as soon as that's cooled, I'm gonna go and see if he exploded. So, good times. We had an incident with his leg. But it's fine. I'm gonna be having a shop update in July, though. So, probably mid-July. It's gonna have a whole bunch of new mugs, a lot of little forest critters. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be good. And you can find that shop update at Myths and Clay on Etsy. I'll either link it in the description or find it on Instagram.
Yeah. If you want to see more of our stuff, like our individual stuff, definitely just read the stuff below. It's down there. Below our feet.
Lots of words. Below our feet.
Yeah, right down there.
Right down there.
Can you see it?
Ooh, so far.
So that's the end of episode 2.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate everyone who's already subscribed. If you're watching now, please consider subscribing. We have no expectations for this show. We really started it as stress relief since we spend so much of our time alone.
Yeah, that's like, being an artist is so isolating, and we're like, let's use our artistic abilities and just, being cool people and friends and combine that into one big thing and share it with the world.
And Brenda always helps to inspire me, so I know
it's mutual.
We have a good time together, so this is really...
Yeah, and we hope that you guys are enjoying it too.
Yeah.
So if you want to keep following along with our lives and spooky things, and then also if you have suggestions for us, what you'd like to see us do in the future, like topics and stuff like that, especially if they're spooky, or if you just want to comment the things that you're really responding to in these that you want us to keep doing for sure.
Yeah, we'd love to hear, because we want to make sure this is as fun for y'all as it is for us.
Yeah.
We just have fun talking, so.
Right. We can just blab forever. And we need you to help us condense that down.
Brenda had a really great idea too about a potential spooky book club.
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm reading a lot of books for grad school, so we'll
circle back to that.
Also, I'll see if I have time for this later, but I was thinking of doing some kind of like a spooky reading book club, like once a month sort of deal. So if you'd be interested in potentially in the future doing like spooky reads with me, let me know in the comments and we can maybe make that happen if we find the time.
I think it would be so fun.
Yeah.
And you can even make sure that they're extended, so it's not like it has to be the only thing you're reading that month.
Right. And it would be anything from, picture books like the Flatman. One month we could read the Flatman
together. That should be the first one.
Yeah.
1 month maybe it'll be Tayle Poe, and I will either be leading that charge or sitting it out. I have not decided.
We have to check her mental state that month.
Yeah. We're gonna have a nice check-in. We'll do some yoga. We'll see how we feel about it.
Yeah. But then also, it could be graphic novels or middle grade stories or adult fiction. We'll do a little of both, and then you can just join in where your interests lie. We'll see if it's possible.
I know I need to expand my reading selection right now.
Cool. Well, we always need more ghosts to read about in our life.
So true. So true. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Consider subscribing, and we will see you next month.
Yeah. August 1st, episode 3.
I think we have something pretty special planned for it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. All right. Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye. It's going to be good.
Yeah. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
Keep
stick
watching.
around. Hang out with us.
Don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere or else.
We will come and get you.